Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Hooey.
Who?
Hooey hoo.
Planet of the pudding brains.
There's no point in being grown up if you can't be childish sometimes.
Do you like a jelly baby? Shut up!
Hello and welcome, Whovians, to a brand new episode of Musings of a Pudding Brain. I'm Adam.
And I'm Matt.
And this week we're plowing our way through Season 10, Series 10, with Smile and Thin Ice.
Yes, kind of feel-good sci-fi kind of romps. I mean, alright, it's Doctor Who. Of course it's going to be a sci-fi romp,
Well,
but
yeah.
you know what I mean. These are not, like, overly dark episodes.
Right.
Lots of people die,
Yeah.
but, again, the Doctor shows up. Good things are probably not going to happen.
Not normally.
And they're very much morally based of, humanity must choose kind of thing. Like, the choices are theirs to make. The Doctor serves at humanity's pleasure.
Right.
They have to choose, though. He's not going to do it. So it's do we live with this life form, or do we smite it and kill it and go on our own? But humanity has to make that moral choice. He's not going to do it for them.
Right.
And so, we kick off with Smile.
Yeah,
And
it's...
it opens with Bill and the Doctor in the TARDIS, and he's kind of going through the new companion like, yes, this is the TARDIS. And
Look at this.
look at all this, isn't it fancy? And she immediately starts breaking his balls about where the chairs are placed so far away from. It's like, well, that doesn't feel right. Well, how do you reach the controls? Oh, I stand like this. And he's just like, yes, striking the dashing pose. Like, isn't that impressive? She's like, no, it's dumb. Move the chairs closer.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, whatever. Why does it look like a box? Well, it's stuck. Yeah.
I like the fact that she's like, so you pilot it. He's like, no, more like I suggest it go somewhere.
You negotiate with it. Yeah. It's like, that's really unreliable.
No, but that's the TARDIS. It
Yeah.
falls back to she stole a Time Lord and is traveling the universe.
Right. Yeah, it's the Doctor is actually the sidekick.
Yeah.
But as they're bantering back and forth about seating arrangements within the TARDIS, Nardole shows up and immediately starts harassing the Doctor about, what are you doing down here? I'm 2,000 years old. Sometimes I don't want to take the stairs. Okay? You said you wouldn't go off planet. I'm not going off planet. I'm going right back upstairs.
Exactly.
Please go put the kettle on. And again, it's like, you made this oath. Stop mucking about. You're not allowed to go anywhere. What are you doing? Shaking the finger.
Yeah.
But he convinces Nardole to go up and start the kettle. And immediately turns around and says, oh, where are we going? Like, wait, you just told him we're not going
We will
anywhere.
be back exactly when we left.
Right. Between here and the kettle boiling is anything that could happen or anything that has happened. Like, you just told him you weren't going anywhere. You clearly don't listen.
Oh, of course not.
Because he's the Doctor.
Yeah.
He's admitted several times that he has a problem with listening to anybody. But again, it's, what is the oath? What is going on with this vault you're guarding?
Yeah.
That it's so important that you don't leave, you don't go off-world. Stick around, watch the vault. Unanswered questions. It's clearly going to arc for several episodes and drive us insane with that.
Yes.
But so, of course, it's, where do you want to go, Bill? Let's go to the future. Why the future? I want to see if it's happy. From this point on, I blame everything that happens on Bill for that response. I'm just going to make it known, I blame her.
Well, I mean, it would also be the TARDIS's fault as well.
No, I'm still blaming Bill.
Okay.
I don't care.
She came up with the idea.
It was her wish. She wanted to see if it was happy. All of the nonsense that follows afterwards, it's her fault. She made the wish of the genie, and she's getting it.
Okay.
So we flash forward to a futuristic colony that someone is tending the wheat fields with the swarm following behind her and a robot, and it's very obvious that, oh yeah, me and my pretties have pollinated 3 miles worth of wheat, and we're like, okay, so they're using the robots for general purposes, farming in the very least, and the person on the other end of the comm is very like, keep smiling, come home, come back right now, just for goodness sake, keep smiling, be happy. Like, what's
Very,
going
very
on?
nervous.
The person in the field is very concerned, and they finally meet up, and her friend is just has this plastered smile on her face.
Yeah.
Face very contrived, and you can tell it's like, yes, just keep saying everything you do. Be happy.
We're
stay
being watched
happy.
right now.
Everybody's watching us, and so is dead, and oh, and they're dead too, and everybody's dead, and the person just coming in from the field is like, what are you talking about? What's going on? How many people are dead? Who's dead?
Yeah.
And, of course, immediately becomes very concerned, at which point the badge on her back, which is an emoji,
Yes.
starts crying. And the robot behind her, who has had a smiley face emoji plastered on its grill the entire time, switches to skull and crossbones and skeleton teeth and hugs her, and the nanobots that were flying in swarms just buzzsaw her down right to bleached bone in an instant. And then it turns on the other person. There's like, no, look, I'm happy, I'm smiling, don't do next. And she doesn't get very far.
No.
And then we break to the opening credits. Like, okay, great, we have psychotic emoji monsters running around.
Exactly.
Only in Doctor Who. And so we flash forward. Bill and the Doctor have arrived, and he explains that this is one of Earth's first colonies, and that they're maintained by these little robots called the T.A.R.D.I.S.
Yes.
And
who make up everything.
Well, we don't know that yet, but they're flying in swarms, and obviously they're being watched for security reasons. And then they find the little robot, which Bill is like, that's a proper robot. The little things, that's not a real robot. The Doctor's like, that is so offensive.
They do look like a cloud of black flies.
Right. They're very, very tiny. But they come upon the robot, quote unquote, and it's got the emoji face, and like, oh my god, they speak in emoji because it's the only constant remaining thing that everybody speaks in English. It's become like English basic.
Oh.
And I'm gonna have to quote another famous doctor, Dr. Farnsworth, when I say I don't want to live on this planet anymore. If that's where we're heading, I do not want to live on this planet anymore. Please do not get rid of the spoken and written word. For the love of everything, let's not devolve to that point. But this is how the T.A.R.D.I communicate. It's very basic and passive. And they figure out that they have been created specifically to make the humans happy. And they've constructed the colony because what would you do if you have to go colonize somewhere? You send hyper-intelligent robots to go terraform it for you, and they don't have to breathe, so they can fix the air, and they can build everything. But where are all the people? We don't know. All the colony shit must not be here yet, but things are strange, and the robot takes them to get something to eat, and he serves Bill one little cube of what looks like Jell-O that smells like fish. Odd. And the other plate for the Doctor has 2 servings on it. He's like, why do you get 2? Oh, it's 2 heartbeats. It's registering me as 2 different people. You have 2 hearts. Why 2? Why 1? All right, fair enough.
Fair.
So 2 hearts. You must have really high blood pressure. Really high. Of course he has extremely high blood pressure. He's the Doctor. Why would he not? But there again, they get these badges from the robot that have the emojis on them.
Yes.
That immediately slide to their back because, well, why can't I see what mood it is? Well, because it would affect your mood. Knowing what your mood is would affect your mood.
Right.
It's one of those paradox loops that keep feeding back on itself. So it slides to the back, and then the running joke through the rest of it is, what you're feeling inquisitive, or you're thinking about something. What are you thinking about? Which you can kind of tell irritates the doctor here and there. It's
Yeah.
just like, I'm thinking, shut up. I don't want you to know what's going on.
Yeah. Oh, it's quite obvious that I'm doing that. Okay, kind of thank you.
Right, yeah.
But you didn't need to call me out, okay?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Jeez, Bill. As they continue on, they figure out that, the robots are reacting to the emojis.
Yes.
And as they tour around, they come upon a gardening facility, and Bill is just walking around completely enamored and engrossed, and
Oh, I mean, it's amazing.
kid in a candy store about everything that's going on, and she finds some rosemary and it smelling home, million light years away from home. This is awesome, and the doctor, of course, is just poking around.
He's
and
like,
it's not,
something's wrong.
So yeah, something's going on here. Something doesn't feel right, and he bends down and picks up a little locket and just kind of hides it behind his back, doesn't say anything about it. And they come into another room in the garden, and there's some sort of venting system powdering stuff down onto the plants, and we figure out, okay, that's fertilizer, calcium based.
Yeah.
And what is feeding this? And they open the fertilizer unit, and there's the bones of everybody that they've wiped out.
Yep.
And yeah, Bill, of course, starts flipping out a little bit, as you do.
I don't blame her.
When you just literally had your hands in busted
Somebody.
people. Yeah. And the future is not as fun as we thought it was.
No.
And so, yeah, smile. Don't even do anything without smiling. And they sneak past the robots and immediately start running.
Yeah.
Bill's like, why aren't they chasing us? Well, you know what happens? You know what it means when something is chasing you very slowly? What? It means they don't have to run fast. Great. That's not good. They're immediately confronted in a hallway, blocked off, and the doctor tells her, don't even try without smiling. Smiles, big smiles. They're here to make us happy, so let's give them what they want. Be happy, be happy. And they plaster, the big fake smiles on their face, which, let's face it, on Capaldi, is kind of disturbing.
It is.
It's so not right.
No.
And they manage to sneak past, haul ass back to the TARDIS, mostly because the doctor wants to get Bill back there.
Yeah, so that she's safe.
So that she's safe. The robots stop chasing after they get out into the wheat fields. Once they're out of the city, they're no longer their problem.
Yep.
And they get back in, and doctor's like, just get in there. There's, watch a movie or something. Just stay in there. Well, where are you going? I don't know. There's this futuristic abattoir back there, and I have this childish impulse to blow it up. Like, all right. Game face on, apparently.
He's like, the computer went a little crazy, and I gotta kind of wipe it out.
I gotta handle this. And of course he books back to the city, Penguin with his ass on fire style, as Bill keeps telling us. I love that imagery. And she thinks about it for a while, and then flips back to the doctor. He's back in the city. And, look at me. I'm happy. Talking to one of the robots. I'm so happy to be happy, and I'm happy you're happy, and I hope you're happy. I'm like, how many times can you say happy in one sentence? Stop it. Goodness. Look, I'm happy. It spins around, shows the emoji, and
Yeah.
the robot gives the smiley face emoji and goes on its way, and he starts getting down a staircase, and of course Bill springs up behind him. What are you doing here? Well, I'm kind of the companion. It's what I do. No, he's like, no, I'm gonna follow you. This is why, because you're an awesome tutor.
Yeah.
Like, what? You're legitimately smiling about all this. Why? Because you're an awesome tutor. That's why.
Because this is fun.
Yeah, this is really fun. And that's when he explains, like, look at the wall, look very closely, and we find out that the entire structure they've been walking around in is actually interlocked nanobots.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we're literally in the belly of the beast. Okay, this is not good.
No.
So we need to figure out that the colony ship is already there, because at least people the startup ship, there's some sort of human ship there, and that the Vardy built out from it, from that core point, because of course the people who are dead were like a shepherding crew, somebody to get things started. They're still under the assumption that the colony ship is on its way, and this is just a startup team, a go-ahead team. So we're going to go find this ship, and we're going to blow up the fusion reactor. Because again, when the Doctor decides he's done screwing around, he's done screwing around.
Yeah.
It's kind of final solutions going on.
I do like the fact that, first of all, what was it? It's the something spaceship Nowhere. It was like Project Nowhere.
I did not catch it.
You didn't catch it?
I did not catch it.
Right now, it's not in my notes. Yeah.
So, but regardless of what the reference was to, it was something along the lines of...
Damn it. It was going to be a good moment. Never mind. Let's keep going.
Never mind. Keep going. They get into the ship. They finally find it because it's the only area in the entire friggin' city that has some corrosion going on.
And rivets.
And it's not smooth. Like everything else looks like kind of polished marble sort of thing. It's very smooth and curvy and ergonomic, basically. This is very clunky human construction.
Yeah, it's actually so the set is actually it's a museum in Spain.
Why does that not surprise me?
I don't know. They just threw up a bunch of green screen around it and did all the exteriors there.
Well, that's awesome. It's a beautiful set. It's an awesome little set. Which now that makes sense. Yes, it's a national landmark. Oh,
yeah.
Duh. Okay, good on them. But they find the ship, and it's not even locked. It's just hand pad.
Yeah.
Push it open.
Boop.
They were planning to live here in peace. Plans always go awry.
Yep.
And as they start going in there, the Doctor makes a crack, and he's like, well, how do we know what we're doing? Where are we going? And he's like, look, a map.
A map.
And he's like, okay, you are going to stay here. See, you are here, points to the map, points to Bill. You here.
Stay here.
I'm going to go, and I'm going to go set this engine to blow up. I need you here to read the map for me. And he goes on his way. As soon as they had entered the ship, all of the Vardy robots, the big ones, immediately went to exclamation point emojis. So a system was tripped. They're all aware that there's humans in the ship.
Yes.
And everything starts to turn on. The ship's functions start turning on. And it's like, well, this is convenient. We have lights. And he starts going, and it becomes very clear very quickly that the Doctor has used the map as a ruse to keep Bill where she is.
Yes.
Because she takes a picture of the map with her phone.
She's like, why didn't I think of doing this earlier?
I'm coming with you. And he's like, no, don't bother. You've memorized the map already. Yep. It's like he didn't need her at all.
Nope.
Just wanted to keep her there. Again, to keep her safe. Because now finds the engine room. She's like, there's something marked on here, engine room in a big space. What's the big space for?
It's empty.
Yeah. It's okay, weird. And of course there's the obligatory fusion reactor on a 4 catwalk grid with
of course
very little safety protocols going on around.
Somehow railings were just not part of the plan.
Yeah, well, no, there were railings, but there were just very small ones.
Oh.
It was still a safety hazard, considering the pit they were dangling over. It's like, another sci-fi trope. There's always got to be a big fan several stories below you while you're on this rickety platform with something extraordinarily volatile that should be in its own containment unit. But
it's just going to hang out there.
It's just going to be right there, easy access. So he immediately starts plucking around and pulling wires and crossing wires and pulling coolant hoses and the like. Well, Bill, of course, does not stay right where she was supposed to.
No.
And goes looking about the ship and finds what looks to be like a funeral kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's an old woman, clearly dead. because the
Yes.
emoji tells you skull and crossbones and
Yep.
X over the mouth. She's clearly dead if you couldn't tell in the first place.
And it's on her chest.
Yeah, it's on her. It's on the front of her, so it's like, okay, fine. Dead body. How it was preserved after all this time? Again, we're just gonna go with the Doctor Let It Go space age stuff.
Okay. I'll be able to explain it in a little while.
Okay, fair enough. But there's also a book that has like a visual history of humanity, basically. And as it starts flipping through, Bill becomes very concerned, going, wait, why did they come here? What has happened? Did something really bad happen? And it becomes very apparent that, yes, something really bad happened.
Yeah, it's not a good future.
No. So
for that station, anyway.
So far, the future has not been happy at all for Bill. Again, it's her fault.
I know.
Still blaming her. In the meantime, the Doctor is continuing to set this fusion reactor to just completely blow up. And one of the Vardy robots comes up behind him and, of course, attacks him. He thinks it's Bill.
He's like, hand me that.
And, hand me that wrench while I do this. And, there's a scuffle and an attack, and, there's got to be somebody dangling off
the Doctor dangles off for a little bit.
He beats the Vardy. It falls into the giant fan below it. And continues to rig his bomb, the fusion bomb,
because it keeps every time he let go of the wheel, like, it started to reset immediately,
right, and cool itself off. So there was some sort of safety protocol involved in this. Thank God there was one. And he finally gets it rigged. At the same time, Bill encounters a random young boy.
Yeah.
And okay,
where'd this kid come
from? And what's with the dead old lady? And they figure out that the Vardy had no idea how to deal with grief. Everything in this place was based on hope and positivity and joy and happiness, and nobody told the little robots that grief was actually just, it was okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't great, but it was going to happen. And thinking like robots instead of like humans, they came to the conclusion that anybody who is suffering from grief is the enemy of happiness. And how does a computer eliminate a problem?
You need to delete it.
It deletes it. And then fed it to the plants as fertilizer, because it became something like, hey,
positive.
We can still use this. Positive.
So the reason that the old lady is so preserved is that this is where a timeline starts to be discovered. She's the one who kicked it off. And it had only been about 18 hours by the time Bill and the Doctor showed up.
Right. So they move fast.
Like, rigor mortis was like the only thing that was going on with her at that point. It was just like, oh, that moved really, really fast.
Yeah. Again, machines do not screw around.
Nope.
Delete the problem. Done.
And especially, you look at it, because, yeah, Bill brings the book to the Doctor.
Right, and they start going through the timeline of when people have died.
And it really was. It was a straight-up tidal wave. It was just like, okay, the old lady died, then there was the immediate family sudden grief that spread a little bit, but once that immediate family started being wiped out by the Vardy, then it just kicked even faster.
It became grief as a plague. Literally a Black Death kind of scenario.
Yes.
But again, the Doctor kind of defends the Vardy, saying it's telling Bill, you're thinking like a wet brain.
Whoa.
Just because
that's brainist.
They're thinking like a dry brain. It's not good, it's not bad. They just think differently from you. It's the magic cart, or the magic haddock.
Yes.
And he explains to her the story of the magic haddock, where a fisherman catches this magic fish, and it grants him 3 wishes. And he wishes the first 2, have his son returned to him from the war, and to have 100 pieces of gold. And the haddock, thinking like a haddock and not like a human, simply solves the problem, and his son is returned to him, dead
Yeah.
from the war in a box, and the king gives him 100 pieces for his service. So it's the be careful what you wish for
Yeah.
kind of scenario. And this is what has happened with the Vardy. The humans sent them forward. They never explained everything to them, and they're just correcting the problem.
Yeah.
Everybody should be happy, or
If you're
well,
not happy,
you're not,
well,
happy,
you're not useful.
You're done. Exactly.
You're corrupted.
Which is, the way they go about eliminating the problem like that. I'm kind of reminded of another robot species from the Doctor Who verse. Little Dalek going on there, just a little bit.
I don't know what
sensing
you're
a
talking about.
pattern.
Sometimes, sometimes robots are evil.
Yeah. The problem here is the smiley little emojicons.
I know.
They don't know they're being evil.
No.
That's kind of the problem. They're just like, what? We're doing what you told us to do. If you're not happy, you're gone. What's
Yeah.
the problem here? You're still being useful. Get in the grinder. Recycle, reuse, repurpose. And the boy, meanwhile, they figure out that the boy has now wandered away. It's like, again, will you people watch the children? Just pay attention to where the kids are.
Yeah.
He has wandered out of the ship and is mucking about, and he's going to figure out very soon that Mum's dead, because the locket that the Doctor found in the garden is Mum's locket, because it's a picture of the boy.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's not just a few people. It's like all of the last of humanity.
Oh, it's everyone.
That is now waking up into this death trap.
Yeah.
Okay, so, of course, the Doctor immediately takes charge and tells the colonists, nobody leaves until I tell them to, okay? And as they're stomping away, Bill's like, so you've got a plan? No, the plan is to make them think I have a plan so that they don't have any plans of their own.
Yes.
Like, just stay.
And of course they go and have plans of their own.
Right, because once they tell them, look, listen, the Vardy, there's a little problem with the Vardy.
We're trying to figure out a way to fix it.
Whatever you do, smile, and where's the boy? We have to go find the boy. So the colonists, of course, being humans, immediately go for guns and arm up.
Yeah.
Right off the jump. And go hunting for the boy. They finally find him just as the Vardy robots have decided, oh, you're kind of scared. You're not happy anymore. And he wants his mom. Where's my mom? And they're like, yeah, about your mom. Just like, smile, look at me.
Spoilers.
Yeah, pretty much. Smile, look at me, smile. And, of course, the boy becomes more disturbed, and the death faces come out on the Vardy, and the humans open fire and blast one of them. And the other Vardy immediately reacts to it. And not robotically. It reacts with rage and, a sense of want to, revenge. Because you just killed my boy over there.
Yeah.
That's not cool. And, the swarm of the nanobots start up, and the Doctor realizes, oh my god, they're sentient. They're self-aware. They actually, stop everything. And, of course, the sonic screwdriver comes out.
Yes.
And the Vardy that had been blasted open uses the sonic on it. What he does exactly, don't know. He just uses the sonic on it. We trust he knows what he was doing. Big pulse of energy goes out. Everything stops. He basically just hit the reset button on the Vardy, wiped their memory. They just stop and are looking inquisitively at all the humans standing around. And he's like, what are you guys doing here? Who are you? And the Doctor explains, they killed a bunch of our people, but they forgot about that.
They don't know about it anymore.
They don't know who you are. They want to know, what you're doing in their city. It's our city. Nope, it's their city.
It's literally their city.
It's literally made of them. And since they're the only ones who know how things work around here, you might as well consider them the indigenous species, and you might want to make friends with them. And then he introduces himself to the Vardy and asks them if, should we, can I be your negotiator? This is the species of humans. They have eyes on your planet. Shall we start discussing rent? And damned if the little robot doesn't understand rent.
I know.
You get the little pound symbols come up
Boom.
like money. It's like, oh, Doctor, you've unleashed the sin of capitalism onto the new friggin' planet. It could have been beautiful, but no. Now,
Right away.
you got to introduce rent. That's messed up, dude.
You haven't even introduced currency yet.
Right.
But we have rent.
But robots know what it is. Like, yeah, money. Give it to me. Oh, Pandora's box right there. So it ends very, very nice, and the Magic Haddock story is concluded with the last wish basically being, I wish I hadn't made the first two wishes. So the last of humanity is given a chance at a completely clean slate with a new life form that can be very beneficial and symbiotic to them. And again, it was one of those, humanity has to choose at that very end. You can negotiate or you can go to war with them. If you go to war with them, you're done.
Yeah.
And you know you're done, so don't be an idiot. But make the right choice. Don't act in outrage.
You help
Behave
them, they
yourself.
help you.
Yeah. Blood has been spilt on both sides. It was messed up. Move on. Move along. Do a better day. And, ending on that very upbeat moment, the future may actually be happy. Bill finally got her friggin' wish.
Yeah.
Again, I'm blaming her for everything that happened.
Well, of course.
It's just her fault. They off into the TARDIS and let's go home, and they get back and they open the door and it's friggin' snowing and
Yeah.
there's an elephant walking towards them. And they're going, I thought you said we were going home. We did. This is London. We're on the Thames. End of episode.
Yeah.
Like, what? Come on.
Kind of landed wrong on that one, huh?
Yeah. So, and that brings us right into episode 3, Thin Ice.
Right.
So they're literally opens back up right where we left off. Elephant walking down the street. There's an obvious carnival of some kind of festive thing going on, but they're on the frozen river.
Yes.
And it turns out this is during the Frost Fairs, February 4th, 1814, the last great Frost Fair. Never really explained why it was the last one. But by the end of the episode, we may have a fairly good idea. And of course, a nice little tidbit here. If you notice at the very beginning, the elephant that's coming down, its trumpeting is actually the same noise that the TARDIS makes.
Oh, that's hilarious.
When it comes in. It was a nice little Easter egg they dropped in there for a second. The Doctor reacts a little bit. He kind of cocks his head a little bit and smiles, but there's no other obvious thing. Because, of course, you're looking at Bill, who's just, again, flipping out.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, oh, wait a minute. Why are we here? Well, again, the TARDIS kind of brought us here.
We negotiate. We asked for London. It gave us London, but not the right year.
Right, and the Doctor makes a comment about, she likes danger. That one, she's a naughty girl. And again, it's kind of okay, guys and their vehicles. It's always a female. It's not just your buddy who's going, hey y'all, let's go do this. It's like it's always feminine. It's she's kind of naughty. She likes some trouble.
I mean, there has been the episode where she did get a body. And she was female.
Well, okay, yeah, that is true. All right, so
she was a little bitchy to Clara for a little bit.
Yeah, well, that happens. I could see that happening. Clara was a strong personality.
Yeah, I mean, she raised River.
Right, which explains a lot about River as well.
Yeah, I know. Okay. Not a good influence.
And then its influence on Bill, because, of course, the Doctor gives her these convoluted directions down through the TARDIS to go to her room. And it's like, what's down there? Dresses. Go get changed. Pick one out. Bill's like, oh, so the TARDIS has dresses and likes trouble. I can get down with that. And like, yeah, the Doctor has a type when it comes to companions.
Yeah.
Okay, we get it. We totally get it. One like to raise hell and cause some trouble and do things you're not supposed to do, but
Exactly.
end up doing good. And yeah, he has a definite type. And as she runs back in to get a dress, the Doctor bumps into a guy who drops his basket onto the ice, makes a large thumping sound, and of course we go down below the ice, and there is a gigantic fish
Yeah.
chilling below the Thames. Again, I'm not real sure how deep the Thames actually is, but this fish
don't know.
seems massive. So it's like, oh great, beast identified. Somebody's getting eaten.
Yeah.
That's kind of a given. And it hits the opening credits. We come back, and Bill is in dress. She's already expressed a little concern that, oh yeah, 1814, slavery is still a thing.
Yeah.
And the Doctor's like, don't worry about it. One, yes, but this isn't America. Just stick with me. You'll be fine.
Yes.
You'll be fine. Don't worry about it. And they, of course, go mucking about. And, you know, doing the Frost Carnival, because, of course, Bill jumps in and is like, of course, I'm trying, like, everything.
Yeah.
Meaning the food. And then she looks around and sees what the food is
Oh, yeah.
in 1814, and it's England. There's a lot of offal on a spit.
Yes.
And a lot of intestines and dirty bits all over the place, which was... there's still a big part of the British diet, from what I'm told.
Hey, sometimes
Hey,
something
whatever.
on a stick, grilled on a stick, is pretty good.
I'm not denying that. I'm just a lot of our American listeners will be like, no,
Chicken liver on
no."
a stick is awesome. Chicken heart on a stick is a little tough, but good.
But and of course the Doctor shows up with some sort of intestine or unidentified vital organ
Yeah.
on a stick. He's like, I love this. It's like, what do you mean? You've been here before? He's like, yeah, a couple times. Which raises the question, if he's been here a couple of times, why hasn't he dealt with the giant fish under the river by this point?
Maybe the other times he's doing other things.
But he's been specifically to the fair because he's had that specific thing before. He said, I get this every time. So he's been there multiple times.
Maybe he just shows up and he's just like, and I just need to grab this, and then gets back in the
And then
TARDIS.
gets back in the TARDIS,
It's like takeaway.
Okay, fair enough. It could be that, but anyways, moving on. They continue to enjoy the carnival festivities up until the point where a couple of urchins pickpocket the Doctor and grab the sonic screwdriver.
Yeah.
And it's like, little buggers. Chase ensues. Again, how they're moving this quickly on the ice. I've tried to walk on ice before. It is not a swift thing. I don't care what kind of boots you have. And I guarantee you, 1814, they were not traipsing around with any Timberlands on. I'll tell you that much.
That was smooth leather.
Yeah, so it was just slightly akin to ice skating without the actual blade
Yeah.
on the ice. But the urchins are making the break for it. They get separated away from everybody, and that's when we see all these little lights under the ice.
Yeah.
And
You know something's going to happen.
something bad's gonna happen. And of course, this is what the Doctor, kind of ribbed Bill about. Is like, is there any jet lag from time travel? Yeah, sooner or later you might see lights under the ice. He's
Yeah.
like, you knew about it. He's like, I figured we'd get down to business sooner or later. Well, here come the lights, and they make the big reveal by sucking this poor kid directly under the ice, and as they pull him under the ice, immediately reforms.
Yeah.
Kind of catches his hand in, and the Doctor dives in, and you think, oh, he's gonna grab the kid, and he just grabs the sonic screwdriver out of the kid's hand as it gets sucked under. He's like, no, give me my toy. And like, oh.
Yeah,
was
that
he
was
just going for the screwdriver, or was he actually trying to get the kid? Another one of those gray moral questions when it comes to the Doctor. I like to believe he was reaching for the kid and was only able to grab the Sonic. I'll take the high road on this.
Yeah, I'm going to say that the kid let go of the Sonic at the last second, and that's how the Doctor got it.
As he got yanked under. muscle release something. But yeah, so
Oh.
Bill reacts very poorly to this.
Yeah, she
I
straight
mean-
up demands that the doctor save the kid immediately.
Right, and he's just looking at her going, "There's nothing I can do.
He's
He's gone."
He's dead.
Yeah, he was dead pretty much the moment he was under that water. No, you go and save him right now. I can't.
It's not. This isn't
Nothing I
happening.
can do, and he is kind of a little cold about it.
Yes,
But again, he's the doctor,
and it is the
It's-
frost fair, so being cold about it makes total sense.
But I do the groaner jokes around here daily.
I get one per show. Okay.
Damn it.
But
And
yeah,
this sparks off a really intense back and forth between Bill and the doctor because, again, she is very, very shaken about this, and she wants to know, why is he being so cold about this? And he's just like, you've seen dead people before.
yeah, we're dealing with it.
Right. And it's like, and if you look back to the lab, like one of the first people she was kind of with the doctor was Heather, the
Yeah.
liquid girl. And then the next one we've got
I kind of keep wanting to call her like the T802,
no
She's kind
no
of
Terminator references.
T799. They just couldn't get it to hold together properly.
No, none of that. But more water elemental than anything else, and she's not even water. She's alien antifreeze. But anyways, it's even though Bill has been around death pretty much continuously since the doctor has become her tutor.
Yeah.
This is the first time it's ever really happened in front of her.
Yeah.
Which is why she's so rattled.
Like all the other ones, she saw the after effect.
Right, and not only that, this was a child.
Yes.
Really messed her up. So she starts hammering the doctor about, how many people have you seen die? And kind of answers, I don't know. I've lost count. Or how many people before you lost count? And he, again, just kind
It's
of
like,
blinks at her.
Uh,
Well, have you killed anybody? And he's just silent. And don't tell me you've moved on, right? And he finally snaps back. And you know what happens if I don't move on? More people die. Maybe somebody else or even us comes on the menu. At which point the surviving urchin is right behind them
Yep.
going,
what was that about?
What do you mean who's going to be on the menu? Well, child. Yes, no, let's go talk to the child. Let's get them out, and let's get her out of here on the ice, off the ice. So the urchin takes them back to, like, their squat shack,
Yeah.
basically. And there's all the other urchins they've encountered thus far. It's all an elaborate
Everyone's
thing.
hiding.
Yeah, it's very much a Oliver Twist Fagin kind of
Yeah.
a hideout where they're just pickpockets to survive, but handing out flyers to get people to come to the fair, that's on the up and up. They're
They're getting paid for
to
it.
do that, and the doctor is very concerned about that. They're like, oh, see, somebody's paying you to get people out on the ice.
Yeah.
Yeah, who? Oh, some lord. He finds us. We don't
Some-
find him.
A dude with a ship tattoo on their hand.
Yeah, on the river, at the wharf.
Yeah.
Go figure. There's a million of them. But it flips to a very sweet scene where, the doctor feeds all of them, and then he's reading a story to them by the fire.
I figured out that those were not like pot pies. They had to be called hat pies.
Well, worse, they were.
Where did they come from?
Again, Dr. Pockets.
I know.
Bag of holding kind of thing. Because, and even that, they were the fish pies
Yeah.
that Bill had tried earlier. The fisherman's like, oh yeah, I catch all the fish out of the Thames myself. That's fresh as it can be. And they're like, okay, and it's not
All
bad,
right.
and she really likes the pie, so we're assuming at some point, I'm going to think the doctor just stole them and put them in the hat.
Oh yeah, no, he did brag that he could steal from the guy, and the guy wouldn't know.
Right, and so he just stole them all, even though that hat moves around quite a little bit.
It does.
So, hat of holding. We'll just go with that. But feeds them all, and it's a very like, oh, he does kind of have a heart. He's not a bad guy kind of thing.
Reading the kids a bedtime story.
Yeah, and the first urchin we had met, Kitty, she and Bill have a little talk about, well, were you two fighting? No, we're not fighting anymore. He's gonna help. It's kind of what he does. And Bill looks at the doctor, who kind of looks back at her. She sticks her tongue out at him, and he laughs and continues reading. So it's like, okay, yeah, they're cool. They're cool now. It's all good.
She got taken out of her comfort zone a little too hard that time.
Right. And as he's telling the story, he finishes it up, and he starts asking the kids a little bit more about, this guy that hired them. And he gets a little bit of details, so they decide, okay, let's go find a man with a tattoo on his hand. It's the only lead they have. And their only other lead is, okay, something's under the water. Let's get eaten.
Yeah.
What? What do you mean, let's get eaten? Which brings us to the next. It's the doctor, let it go. They get diving suits. Now, again, it's 1814. Scuba tanks do not exist.
No.
They purchased these diving suits locally, and at the time, you would need like an air hose trailing behind them and somebody pumping a big bellows to supply you with air.
Right.
And you had most of it was metal, so it's weighted. They're very difficult. So once you're on the bottom, you're not getting up without dropping a lot of the suit in order to do it.
Yes.
And they're not easy to get in and out of, really.
No.
So they end up getting themselves dropped through the ice because they're out in their diving suits, stomping about on the ice and attract the little lights, which we figure out are something like anglerfish. The lights are created by the little bulbs on the top of their heads, like an anglerfish would have. But they're not carnivorous. Somehow they just open up the ice. We're assuming that's what the lights are for. And then able to refreeze it. Or something is able to rapidly refreeze it, which is how they just drop people through the ice to feed the big fish that's on the bottom, which of course they find fairly easily. It's hard to miss.
Yeah.
Its eyeball is bigger than their entire torso.
Yeah.
So this is
huge.
Fairly large monster. Again, how
how does no one notice this?
No one noticed this. I realize there's ice covering the Thames at this point, but kind of a big fish.
Yeah.
So I think it would be noticed. But while they're down there, they realize that it is chained to the riverbed.
Yeah.
My next problem. Who chained it up?
How
did it get down there?
Just let that go.
Let it go. Let it go. But there's a moment where it makes a sound, it makes a noise, and Bill identifies it as like it sounded like it was despair, and loneliness, and something's going on. We've got to figure out what's going on with this. And it's kind of the first steps into a choice she has to make later on. But they have figured out, at least this is how people are getting sucked into the ice. This is why. But if it's down there, why is it down there? So they managed to come back up through the ice through a fishing hole.
Yes.
That the guy who sold them the pies is fishing out of. And again, how they get themselves back up through it, we'll just let it go. But they come crawling back up basically on his fishing line, scaring the poop out of him.
Yeah.
And he knocks over the bucket of fish that he's been pulling up. And it's the little glowfish. It's the bucket full of glowfish. And Bill has a moment of, I had one of those pies. I liked those pies. Like, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Don't worry. You ate something weird out of a river. Civilizations have been doing this forever.
Yes.
And they're all right. Don't worry. You're fine. Don't worry about it. But the doctor's giving the fish quite the once-over, going, it has no teeth. You're not carnivorous. So what caused the symbiotic relationship between you and the big fish? How did you become this? And it's just like a little curiosity aside, but now we know, okay, the little fish get the food for the big fish. They're
Yeah.
obviously getting something out of the relationship, maybe just smaller scraps that they don't have to chew, or
There's
something's
that.
going
They
on.
could also be technically a bottom feeder, but if they know that if they don't feed the big fish, they don't get the waste product.
Right, yeah, this is true too. And the fishermen, they start asking him, well, have you seen anybody with a tattoo
With
of
a-
a ship on their hand? And he's like, we're at the docks. Really?
I like how Bill's like, yeah, just stop with that question.
Yeah,
just stop with that
just
one.
Move along. Have you seen anybody acting shady or suspicious?
Oh, yeah.
yeah. There's the workhouse down the river here. The dredgers. They've been doing some weird thing.
Yeah.
Now, right off the bat, the dredgers, they're pulling stuff off of the riverbed,
Yes.
and as they use the doctor's psychic paper and get into the place, and as they're looking around, the workmen are making little bricks out of the mud, quote unquote,
Yes.
that they're dredging off of the river.
Exactly. The mud.
And the doctor is immediately, as Bill is picking up a brick and looking at it,
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, no, like, why would they be doing this? The fish is miles away. He's like, yeah, we're probably on the other end of it. And she immediately drops the brick, shaking her hand, realizing that, yep, that's Leviathan poop you're handling right there.
Yeah.
What could they possibly be doing with it? And the doctor uses his superpower of banter and beguilement to get the work foreman to spill his guts, basically. And like, yeah, we're sending the bricks to this lord's factory over here.
And it
'cause
burns, 1,000 times hotter and
hotter than coal and longer than coal, and it even will burn underwater. Like,
okay.
that's what's going on. He's using it as a fuel source.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, let's go talk to the smarmy lord about
Lord
shutting-
Sutcliffe.
Yeah, shutting down his factory.
For no apparent reason.
Yeah, for no apparent reason. And he, of course, being the open-minded 1814 Victorian aristocrat,
Yep.
has serious problems with anybody who isn't basically a wasp. And the doctor is trying to warn Bill about this, saying, just, please let me do the talking.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to use charm and diplomacy.
Subtlety.
Subtlety. Let me do the talking. You don't want to upset him.
Yeah.
And Bill is sitting down and getting ready to give a snarky reply when the Lord walks into the room. And immediately sees her in the chair and is like, what are you doing in that chair? Stand in the presence of your betters, you filthy beast. And immediately turns around and the doctor lays him out.
It's a pretty decent right hook.
Yeah, pretty good right hook. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I see. We're doing forceful negotiations.
And
Where's your lightsaber, doctor? I've
Yeah.
seen this play before, but good on you. You don't talk to her like that in front of me. He earned that one.
she is my friend.
Yeah, you don't talk to her like that. And of course, the henchers in the hallway immediately come and tie up the doctor and Bill.
Yes.
And
It's like, yeah, we got that one in on you though.
right, and of course, smarmy villain monologuing ensues, where it's basically lays out his plan. The doctor knows what's going on. You're using that stuff for your factories and
To
he's
increase your profits.
to increase your profits, and the Lord is giving him I'm better than everybody else because what I do advances the empire.
Yeah, it's like,
And-
no, you just won the genetic lottery. That's it.
Yeah.
You were born. You were just luckily enough born to a family.
Right. How you value yourself is not the point of humanity. Humanity's worth is how you judge the life of a worthless, holding it as equal to yours. Somebody who is more impoverished is just as equal as you are. That is what makes humanity great.
Yeah.
And pretty much giving the very eloquent, you're an ass, and I'm going to smite you. I'm just getting around to telling you that. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm playing for time while I figure out how I'm going to get out of these fetters and do that. But, yeah, I'm going to take you out now.
But yeah, that
And
entire
boy,
thing from
you're just
Sutcliffe.
an asshat.
Yeah, where he basically just says that life is, well, the doctor's saying that life is more important than profit. And Sutcliffe's like, that's great. We're going to kill you now.
Yeah. What a great speech. That would be excellent and would probably work on anybody who has even an ounce of compassion in them. So it looks like it's a bad day for you.
Yeah, it's just like, wow.
Oh, man. Seriously,
Okay.
you're feeding people to the beast to collect its poop.
Yes.
This is already a shitty idea, not for anything, but... And you just no compunctions about it because, whatever, they're street trash. They're carnival workers. They're not, off with you.
Whatever. They're commoners.
Yeah. Like, oh, dude, really? So, of course, now because he has done the villain monologue, he's going to take Bill and the Doctor out. And instead of simply taking them out, he's got to go Bond villain on them and tie them up with a bunch of explosives in a tent that he plans to blow up the tent, breaking the ice, dropping everybody at the fair into the ice to feed the beast so he can have more fish poop to burn in his factories. And yes, it'll be good for another year. All he needed was a mustache to twirl and it would have been perfect. And of course, they leave one hencher to guard the Doctor and the companion on the outside of the tent instead of standing there and watching them.
Oh, by the way, does anyone ever check pockets when they tie up the Doctor?
Apparently not. Another hencher. It's so hard to find good henchers.
Yes.
It really is. The Doctor then, of course, gets his Sonic out, manages to get his Sonic out of his pocket and starts pretty much using it on the ice, creating a vibration, and starts calling the fish over. The hencher on the outside of the tent sees all the lights coming by, knows what they are,
what
and
is
like,
this?
Wait, no. Don't go for the explosives. What are you doing? Goes inside, and of course the Doctor has the Sonic out and is making no attempt to hide it, just like, carry on. It's like, give me that. Okay. And he tosses him the Sonic, and all the fish immediately go straight over to him and start spinning around to suck him under.
I like how he keeps trying to like move away from them, and they're just like, yeah, we're following you, bro.
No, we know where you are. So of course they start spinning. You can tell the ice is about to go, and the Doctor's like, here, toss it back to me. They'll come to me. And the dude tosses it back and immediately goes straight through the ice. Which he turns it on. He's like, no, turn the Sonic off. There's a button on it. Oh, here, toss it back to me. I'll do it.
And just boop.
Oh, there's a little bit of a trick to it. It's like, you just killed him.
Look,
No. You just killed him. There's no moral gray area here. That was death by proxy. That was murder by proxy there.
You do know that the Doctor does not have a no-kill rule.
Yeah, I know. I am aware of that, but it's just like back to Bill grilling him earlier. How many people have you killed? And he was just like, the numbers dropped since I didn't actually destroy my home planet, but there's still a fair number of them.
It was in the 2 billion range. It's moved down into the 1 billion range.
Yeah, it's the score has dropped, but even still, it's that. Yeah, this Doctor may just take you out if you push him too far.
Oh, of course.
It's a very chaotic neutral Doctor so far.
Best.
I don't want to take you out, but I will if I have to.
Yes.
I have no problem. Again, with the last episode, Smile, I want to blow this place up.
Yeah,
he's going to take you out.
He's taking somebody with him.
Now, at this point, once he frees himself and Bill, she starts with what are we going to do? Well, you have to make a choice.
Yes.
If we leave the creature where it is, that's your choice. But if your future is based on the suffering of this creature, what is your future worth?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, good point.
That hurts.
Well, why do I have to choose? Your world, your people, your choice. It has to be you. I cannot choose. I serve at humanity's pleasure.
Yeah.
Give me an order. And he's just like, nope, you have to do it. You are speaking for humanity. Why? Because you're the one who's here. Make a choice. Kill the creature, leave it where it is, or break it free. If we break it free, it may rise and immediately eat everybody. It could do that, but you don't know that. Make your choice right now. Bomb's going to go off. Make your choice. And, of course, Bill chooses save her.
Yep.
Doctor smiles. Okay, go get everybody off the ice. I'll deal with this. And immediately starts monkeying around with the explosives.
Yeah.
Bill takes off, finds the urchins, uses them to start scattering people
Getting
off the
people
ice.
off the ice as
tell
fast
them
as
the
possible.
Ice is thawing. It's going to break, causing a panic.
Yep.
The Lord sees this and is like, no, I assure you, the ice isn't thawing. It's fine. But still, many of the people are streaming right past him.
You get enough people panicking about something, everyone will just be like, no, that is happening. I'm just going to leave.
Right, and of course you'll have some people like the soldiers that they're trying to get out. They're like, no, get out of here, whatever. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm just going to keep drinking, thank you.
Yeah.
And it gets very close to time, and Bill has to tell Kitty, run.
Get off the ice.
Get off the ice. There's still people. We can't save them. Get off the ice. Get out of here. Of course, the Lord, seeing what's going on, says, okay, we've got to do this early, wires everything up, and hits the plunger from the explosive.
And
something blows up under the ice.
Yeah.
The Doctor has managed in this small time space to get that dive suit back on.
Yes.
Get all the explosives moved.
Yes.
And chained up to the chains holding the Leviathan under there.
Uh-huh.
So when the Lord hits it, they start blowing up in sequence, blowing up the chains.
Yeah.
Because, of course, the explosives are made from fish poop.
Yeah.
So get enough of it together. Apparently it's 1814 C4.
Yes.
Right on. So, and of course, he keeps hitting the plunger, and it keeps detonating, and it released the beast. The Doctor manages to get up out of the water, manages to grab Bill, and the Doctor has got some upper arm strength. Let me tell you what, because he pretty much just squat lifts her up off of the... And
yeah,
just...
One hand squat lift.
One-handed her just up and over. I'm like, that's pretty good for a 2,000-year-old dude. I want the Time Lord fitness program because, damn.
It is a lot of cardio, though.
Yeah, there is a lot of running involved when you're hanging out with the Doctor. Again, why you don't see Nardal really.
Nardal's like, yeah, I'm good.
And he's even a robotic fluffy dude, and he's like, no, I really don't enjoy this. I'm not doing it. But the beast is released, the Lord falls into the river, and justice is served.
Yes.
Again, we're not really sure how much collateral damage and body counts of the people who didn't get off the ice before the beast is rips everything up. But again, it's the Doctor. Somebody's gonna die. It just kind of happens.
It's kind of the moral of, hey, you've been warned to get off the ice. You decided to stay anyway.
Yeah. And sometimes there are no good options, and you just have to move on. Which is really this is Bill coming to grips with the fact of, okay, bad things are going to happen, and sometimes not all the choices are awesome.
Yeah.
But you still have to make one. And again, since you're hanging out with the Doctor, you're speaking for humanity most of the time.
Yes.
So he's going to use you as his moral compass. And periodically, you're going to get tested. Just to make sure.
Yeah.
Just to make sure his faith in humanity is
still there.
Warranted.
He's like, okay, we're good. We're still good. And, yeah, I mean, the orphan kids.
And, yeah, they end up rounding up all the orphan kids, and they take them to the Lord's house.
Yep. And
as Bill is rounding them up and bringing them in, the Doctor is already there mucking about with some paperwork, etching some stuff out, obviously, like 1814 whiteout style, basically. And asks one of the urchins, hey, what's your name? Percy, because he's got a mouthful of food. Because
Yeah.
they're immediately just stuffing their face. Like, there's a table, go eat. And,
Just go.
There's street kids, they haven't eaten a lot, so they're just pounding it on down. And then the doctor smiles and etches his name, and he has now effectively made Percy the beneficiary of the Lord's will. All of his money, all of his businesses, all of his real estate, everything is now the kids. So it's like, evil is smited and the street urchins get a home. A lot of people still got eaten, but there's a glimmer of hope in there, and he really is a nice guy, even though he totally fed a hencher to the fish.
Yeah, so what, man?
It's balance. The doctor likes to keep things in balance. And Bill and the doctor travel back to the college. And as, right in time, the exact moment that Nardal is bringing the tea in, and they're being very nonchalant, and he's standing at his desk looking at paperwork, and Bill's on Google basically looking
Trying
for
to find
any
it.
kind of news or stories about, Beast escapes down the Thames in 1814 and doesn't really find anything. There's nothing on there. And Nardal comes in and puts the tea down and tells them that he added a little coffee to the tea to give it flavor. Like,
Yeah. I don't know
he
why.
just ruined both of those drinks doing that, dude. But he's also made it very clear that he's not happy about being a butler kind of figure in all of this. That's just him getting back a little, I think.
He's like, you're gonna do this to me? Fine.
Yeah, fine. I'm going to be the worst butler you've ever had. And then he realizes the garb they're in. They're still in their friggin' 1814 garb. He's like, sir, you swore an oath. What? I'm standing
I'm here now.
in my very specifically picked out tea-drinking clothes. What? You left planet. I did not. You
Nope.
traveled. You promised you wouldn't do this. And it goes back to the doctor trying to learn the coin trick from the dude. He's like, here, flip a coin. Heads, the TARDIS stays here. Tails, you leave me alone.
Yep.
Pretty much just telling Nardal to kiss off. I'm going to do whatever I want to do because I'm having fun. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And they find out, okay, there were no stories about the Beast, but there was a story about the Lord falling through the ice and how the kids got the will and how Percy
held
was
up.
somehow legitimized and
Yeah.
held up in court, so they got everything. I was like, oh, yay, we did good. But how did everybody miss that? And the doctor's like, oh, you humans will dismiss anything.
You'll forget
You'll
things.
forget anything. It's just kind of how you are. Again, we kind of learned this lesson with Lady Me. Stop browbeating us with it, okay?
Yeah.
We get it. We're gonna forget things, but
Well, I mean, also with Clara very early on, when the forest came over the world,
yes,
people didn't remember that.
because people weren't around for that. The first time it happened, those were dinosaurs. They had
No,
little tiny arms. They can't write.
It was like a week or so after the second time it happened. God, of course we didn't know about it.
Stop being a speciesist. The T-Rexes couldn't write, or we would have known.
They had a great story, and they were just like, "Oh, I can't write about it."
How will I warn future generations? If only I had the Mayans around. But so the doctor and Bill are having a nice little giggle about, oh yeah, we had fun. Wasn't this cool? And
It was a happy ending.
Nardal is down in the vault checking things over, bitching to himself about, oh well, fine, yeah, no, that's how it's going to be, and I guess I'll just take care of things down here, and this is kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
And then they're bang, 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 bang. Somebody on the other side of the vault wants to put their 2 cents in.
Yeah.
And he stops, and of course now immediately is like, okay, it's not a vault, it is a cell. what or who, more specifically, is behind the vault.
Yes.
And clearly listening to Nardal bitch and complain, knowing now that the Doctor is skipping town periodically. He's not continuously on Earth at that time watching the vault.
Yep.
And Nardal has to tell it, listen, just because he's got a little friend now and he's a little distracted, I am still here. And you're not getting out as long as I am here. So kind of showing
Yeah.
a little backbone there. It's a little out of character for Nardal to be
Well, not
snarky
entirely.
and smarmy, yes, but typically he's been the one who's like, I don't want to deal with this. I just want to kind of run away. I don't like this.
I mean,
this is not what I do. But he's
when he has to, he steps right up.
right. But he's clearly freaked about this, and he's telling whoever or whatever behind the vault that they're not getting out. I think not so much to tell them, but so much to tell himself.
Oh, yeah.
And to bolster his own.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's clearly freaked.
Oh, yeah.
That there's now a reaction.
Whatever.
Again, who's in the vault? Tell me it's the Doctor again.
What's in the box, man?
What's in the box, man? What's in the box?
But yeah, no. I mean, I've already watched series 10. I know
Right,
the
no-
entire thing.
no
So no
spoilers.
spoilers. But really, at this moment, I enjoyed that ending because originally it was like, all right, well, it's a vault of some sort. He's guarding this.
Yeah, what
You know.
doomsday device?
Yeah, there's some doomsday device or something like there, and then the knocking this time and Nardal talking back. I was like, who is in there?
Exactly, because the last time we did this kind of trick, it was actually the Doctor in the cell.
Well, yes.
But, and again,
I really don't think it's the Doctor in there.
it might be. You never know. Never discount any possibility. There is nothing impossible when the Doctor is about and mucking around. It could be him. Maybe it's a future him he had to lock away for safekeeping.
The Valeyard?
Maybe it's River that he's
Oh.
keeping safe.
See, I like those theories.
Maybe, we don't know. It's not necessarily something dangerous, but someone important that he must protect, and this is the only way to protect them
From something.
from something, or to keep somebody else from finding that person. It's like witness protection. They're in there for their own good.
Yeah.
But we don't know. It's the Doctor. We won't know until we carry on with the storyline, which we will continue with the next episode next time.
Yes. Well, thanks everybody for checking out the episode this week. Go ahead and smash that like button. Join the notification squad. Tell a friend. Tell your mama. And have a great week.